This introduction to the Lots supplier update will give you a really easy and simple way that you can update a whole range of products with the latest information from your supplier. Rather than doing it one by one or as you receive an order, you can do this globally across a complete supplier listing. So, how do we do that? In Lots, we go to the Tools option and click on that, and then click into Supplier, add our staff code, and then what Lots will do next is call up a list of all the suppliers that we receive and deal with. And if you ever happen to notice that there are a supplier that's not listed there, just get their contact details and ask that they send that through to us. So, there's 3 tabs along the top there, and as I say, a whole host of other suppliers. There's a wholesaler tab, a buying group tab, but you'll use probably the direct supplier one regularly and most often. There's a settings option and some help notes there as well. What we're going to do here is we're going to use the AFT supplier. We're going to OK that selection, and each time you do that, you'll find that you get a number of options here that you can edit and change. Once you've made these changes, these will be saved and you can just automatically apply these every single time you run this supplier update. So what does it show here? It shows the standard update to be applied to new products. There's some options there around list cost and whether or not we update the retail. Also some list costs only changes, and you'll see when you tick and untick these options, the red block that's there gives you a changing description in terms of what's going to happen to the products when you update them. Really sensible option there is to make sure you always have the update supplier list cost, part code and barcode selected, so that way all those details are kept current so you can order properly and scan your barcodes when you sell them properly. And of course you should probably always tick outers and make sure stickers or labels are produced. Now, like I say, that all might seem a bit daunting, but once you've got those criteria right, you just leave them like that for now and evermore and simply click into it and select OK. Now, after a few seconds, that file will pop up and it will display the products that fit that criteria for that supplier. Now, it's important to note at this point that there is actually nothing that has changed and updated at this point. This is just giving you some products displayed that you can then choose to update or not. So you haven't updated and wrecked anything as of yet. So what do we see here? There's a whole lot of columns with different information, and you can see they're different colors depending on what's been updated. So the green, as an example, is a barcode update. The new cost red column that's there shows that there's been a change in the list cost coming into what we have in Lots already, and the blue column is therefore displaying a change in the retail price. There's also barcode updates that are shown there, as well as a number of different bits of information. So there are 4 tabs that are illustrated along the top there. Changed items that are already in our database is what we were looking at. This column here that we're looking at are new items that aren't in our system yet, so we'll deal with those in a second. Another tab for previous month and a tab there for discontinued cards, but we generally just deal with these first 2. So the A Lyces product, we're happy that there's a new list price that's actually reduced there slightly, and therefore there is a new retail price that's been calculated. If we want to accept that, we select our line and we go accept, and that has updated that line. Often you'll be happy making a selection, selecting them all and then going accept, and that will update all those products that you've selected. And that completes all those items on that tab. The next tab is we'll go back to the new items selection, and we'll just widen that column out so we can read it. And we're going to select these 3 products and say we want to update those into our database, because we are going to order them in and therefore sell them. What we want to do first though is we want to make sure they have a product group assigned to them so we can report on them. So we'll select antihistamines. These products also should belong in a club, and so we'll select that and press OK. Again, that hasn't updated them yet, it's just added that criteria. When we go accept, it will create those stock cards and introduce those products into the database. We'll do the same thing with the Maxiclear range. We'll give it a product group of, in this case, analgesics will do. And we'll press OK, and then we'll create those 4 products. Same system for the remaining ones. Just notice here that there is a button that will update the complete list. Just be careful though that that is what you want to do. And there's a check option here saying, do we want to add them all? Yes, we do. And there we're done. And if we just exit out of that and just go back into Supplier Update, put in our code. As mentioned, there are a whole host of suppliers that we get updates from. There's a price file date next to each of them. So if you notice that there is a supplier that hasn't got an update, we haven't received it. So mention to your rep when you see them and ask them to get that forwarded on to us. Down the bottom here, there is a really helpful set of instructions. So click on that if you get stuck or need any further background. And that will step you through how to do Supplier Update.